you have to have conditions for everything as far as like your entries and your take profit. But that goes deeper because like now your entries has to be okay based on structure on on a certain time frame, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But then you also have an entry conditions for what time frame you gonna enter on. You know what I'm saying? Then you need to have entry conditions as to what pattern you're going to actually enter on. Yo, what's good, John? Well, she said she's at work. Yeah, I just put up. Jatu said his laptop's taking a piss, so we're just waiting on it to fix. What you said?
Backtesting like a motherfucker, bro.
That's good. That's kind of something I wanted to go over today too, actually. How exactly have you been backtesting? Like, what has been like your process? Oh, you just let it play through and try to like find the entry type shit.
Yeah, I'll start at the beginning of the year though, and then I'll go throughout, like go down to the daily time frame, and then kind of like start my top down analysis and shit.
This is just like how I learn pairs. So what you could do is like you could get a tab. I would go on this website called Notion.so. I have like all my notes and everything here. Like here I was just studying marketing earlier. First you would have to sign in. You can sign in with Google. So like it has mine already logged in. Then you would just make a page or something. So you could go to private, add page, CBP, JPY, right? What I always do anytime I'm learning a pair is I just want to learn like what makes it move. And in order to know what makes it move, you need to honestly know like its pivot points. You know what I'm saying? So that's just those points where like it's going from one direction to another. So obviously here we were going up, and then it pivoted. And then obviously here we had another pivot. Why? You know what I'm saying? I like to ask those questions. Like you gotta understand you're a scientist with this shit. Like even pivoted here. Why? Even did it here. Why? So I need to know, okay, what makes this pair move? So in order to do that, first thing I'm gonna need to do is I need to basically mark up. I've done this for you guys before, but I never like went in depth with it. I just want to see what patterns it likes to make every single time it decides it's going to pivot. So here we're looking at that. Here you're looking at this, and you're just gonna do like this is like if you ever watched Karate Kid, when like the nigga was like wax on, wax off. Like this literally matters. Like you have to do this. Just like be monotonous with it. It's gonna be low-key boring. Put some music in the background while you're doing it or whatever, you feel me? Because all you're doing is you're training your brain to see certain patterns. So like, okay, I could go over here. What made this pivot? But see, now mainly when I'm entering the market, I'm not on the weekly. You know what I'm saying? But I still like to see what do the patterns look like on macro. And this is usually where you can also go on the line chart to make it a little easier for you. See, this is why I love like triple tops and head and shoulders so much, because like I see 1, 2, 3 here, then goes up. I see a head and shoulders here. I see I don't even know what you could call this, a liquidity grab maybe, because you see how like it kind of bottomed up right here and then decided to dip down before shooting up. So maybe we could say that's a liquidity grab. You got, I would say, a ugly head and shoulders right here. But all I'm looking at right now is just straight patterns. I haven't done anything crazy yet. You know what I'm saying? But like this matters because you need to be able to see that, because basically what's happening on the seconds is just adding all up to make the monthly. So if you already know the big picture, now all you got to do is find what was happening on the big picture on the little picture, because it's all fractals of one another. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all adding up to one another. This is all numbers. All you're looking at is numbers like physicalized. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm on the weekly, so okay, that's like I'm seeing those type of patterns. You know what I'm saying? So what I would usually do is like I might get a notebook. Well, here, this is what I'll do. I'll just put what makes the market move, and I'll say head and shoulders. I'd say triple bottom, triple top, liquidity grab. Let's do a liquidity grab too, because we just saw one earlier. Okay, so now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom down and see if those are confluent. Let's see. Okay, that's what I'm seeing on the weekly. I'm gonna go down to like the daily. So now I'm looking at the same thing, but now it's a little smaller of a picture, so I'm gonna have to zoom in a lot more. Same thing. I just want to know, okay, what makes this market move? So right now my theories are what makes it move are head and shoulders, triple bottom, triple top, and liquidity grabs. So I'm like, okay, like low key I see one right here. If I go on the line chart, you kind of see it. You have a dip here, head here, another shoulder right here matching up, and then we go. So I'm seeing a head and shoulders right here. So that's a nice little Put ellipse right there. Here we have this one. I wouldn't even really categorize this in any of the ones that I have, but I'm still gonna mark it up because it's still something of note. Or if you want, what you could do is like you can continue with the theories you have right now and only mark up those and see where they happen. Because then, yeah, let's do that actually. We're gonna do that because then what you're gonna do is you're gonna ask yourself, okay, when do they happen? And then you're gonna find other confluences with the market, so you know when to look for them. And this is how you update your plan too, because you got to be constantly asking yourself, okay, like I'm looking for this, when does it happen? And then you'll be able to find these patterns and like when they're necessarily forming in the right conditions. It's like predicting the weather in a sense. You're basically looking at, okay, what's the wind speed, or what trend you're in, you know what I'm saying? You might say, okay, how's the sky looking right now, you know what I'm saying? Like what's the forecast, what's the what news is going on, you know what I'm saying? Like what's their sentiment? Are people trying to sell? Are people trying to buy? You know what I'm saying? That matters too, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at all these different things to create a forecast of the market. So you need to learn the market and what conditions you want to be in it type shit, you know what I'm saying? So normally I'm not in the market on the daily either. Seems like on the daily it respects somewhat different rules than what I was seeing on the weekly. So right now, based on my current theory, I don't think I'm going to be using the daily to look for these, which is normal because that's not my entry time frame anyway. So let's go down to the hour. Once again, we're going to do the same thing and ask ourselves what makes this market move. Just going to keep looking and seeing what are the pivot points.
Last name dead, bro.
She at work, bro. I thought she was asking the question. Okay, so we're gonna mark that up. We're gonna mark this up. I'm seeing a lot of like, if it's in a trending market, we keep creating these like higher lows, and that's usually what you want to use as a signal. You might also want to look at these wicks here.
Yeah.
Here we have a clear triple bottom right here, and this is in a trending market. That's another thing. So like this has to get so deep to the point where like, okay, you want to know what market you're in before you start looking for any type of entries, right? So me personally, I only want to be trading trending markets mainly, you know what I'm saying? So I want to look at trending market conditions, and then I need to name what my conditions are. So this is literally, you're literally doing science work with this. I'm telling y'all boys, you feel me? So I'm gonna erase everything I have on my charts right now. So now all I want to do is like, okay, when is the market trending? When is it moving? So we have a easy trending market right here. I'm gonna stick on the hour right now because my plan is usually based on the hour, 15, and the 5. So let's see what else. We could just use that one. We even have a trending market right here. So now what I want to do is like, based on my theories, what makes this market move are these patterns. So I'm looking for a trending market. What's gonna be a signal for my trending markets? Okay, so I want to be able to look and see, okay, is the EMA like one solid color mainly? If that's the case, like we have right here, okay, that's a good condition. Okay, so solid EMA color, for example. Put that's my condition number 1. Because once again, I need to be like, when I'm in the market, like let's say, because now what this does is whenever you start to back test now and you're back testing and you're like, oh shit, based on my conditions, we have a solid EMA basically, you know what I'm saying? Like it's been mainly green besides this little blip right here. We're creating higher lows. That's another one of my conditions, as well as respecting EMA. And what I mean by respecting EMA is that like when it touches it, it decides to bounce. So like right now, based on my conditions, we have higher lows forming where we have a solid EMA color. It's also respecting it because every time it touches it, it's also using this as a retest area. So based on my conditions now, I would say, okay, I'm in a trending market. Now I would need a plan for trending market conditions. Now my theory is it's gonna move on one of these: a head and shoulders, triple bottom, triple top, or a liquidity grab, right? So I'm gonna look for that. So I'm seeing, okay, we're creating these higher lows. Maybe I'll look for an entry on one of these higher lows. Right now we do have a touch on this higher low. We have a touch here, 1, 2, maybe this is 3. You know what I'm saying? So let me go down to like maybe the 5 minute. That's a 15, We're touching this. We still seems like we're creating these higher lows. It has technically been respecting this EMA in a sense, you could say, because like it's getting to it. It's like playing around under it a little bit, but it's still going up when it touches it. And then I do also see a higher low right here. And if I go on the 5 minute, look what you see. Could classify that as the head and shoulders, because what I'm seeing is boom, 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 touches again right here. So maybe I wanted to go in right there based on my theory of this being a trending market, right? So maybe we'll put something right here. Maybe we'll put a stop under here, right? Because we're basing our original analysis was based on the hour, because our analysis is that based on the hour we are in a trending market, right? So okay, where am I going to aim to? So like now you would need to form, okay, where am I going to take profit? Now I already have a plan for that. That's my fibs. So I'm gonna, you know, draw out the retracement. So I'm measuring from this bottom to this pivot right here, and I just want to see, okay, how far is it gonna go? You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it might respect right here, and we're gonna go to at least right here to this green area, at least. You know what I'm saying? Now what you could do is under certain conditions you could have different rules. Like you could say, okay, if I'm in a trending market, what I want to do, my take profit is going to be the purple fib. You know what? On the omega. So we're trending. We want to see it go all the way to the omega, because shit, we think it's trending. We think in trending markets we should be aiming for this. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what we want to do, but you could also have a contingency like plan. Say, okay, in trending markets I'm going to take profit at the omega if there's nothing in the way. You have to have that if condition, because there's always like a possibility that you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, so I'm seeing, okay, there's a possible resistance over here. You know what I'm saying? Like we respect the number 3 over here. So I think, you know, 1, 2, this would technically be the third hit around this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cautious, and I'm just going to aim for this green area just because there's something in the way. Now, if there was nothing in the way, then shit, I would go to the moon. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe this one right here. Here we could, instead of, we didn't have to aim for this one on this one down here. If I drew this retracement, because there was nothing in the way besides around this area, right? But I was close enough to the omega that shit, we could just aim for it. So you see how the conditions change the way you start trading. Do you have to have conditions? Because if it's you should keep it simple now. Keep it very simple. But the thing is, you have to be able to have a Teflon mind, which is what the Buddhists say, which is just basically be able to have a malleable mind where you're able to not marry the idea that it has to do what you think it's going to do. Because that is how you're going to create suffering for yourself. And the moment you create suffering for yourself in the market, it's going to mess with your head. Because now you're emotional now. Maybe you were like, nah, it has to hit where I need it to hit. It doesn't do that. You get mad now. Maybe you put too much money in because you thought it had to hit that. No, you have to be malleable, bro. You might lose. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? But just like that, we had an entry. You know what I'm saying? And like it fit the conditions that we created. That, okay, what are we gonna enter on? What are our pivots? What's our theory? And all we did was to find what, you know, patterns it uses. We went on the bigger time frame because we understood the big picture. So all we got to do is match up the big picture to the little picture, and now we already know what's going on. So I'm looking at this head and shoulders, right? Isn't that what we're looking at? Based on our theory, we got a head and shoulders. So what you could do is now you could be +1. You know what I'm saying? You could put like a little tally on it to tell yourself, okay, that's what we have, a +1 on the head and shoulders. It works. It works. You know what I'm saying? Because what you want to do is you want to start looking to see how many times these get hits. You know what I'm saying? You want to be, okay, based on my theory, which one has the most hits, and maybe under what conditions. Because what you could also do is you could screenshot this. I don't know if you guys have a screenshot tool. You guys can use that. You can use the print screen. You can also do this, and you can download the image and you can take it like that. So we saw, okay, potential triple bottom might be forming. That seems to be one of our theories as to why the market might move, right? We'll put a slash right here. Triple bottom. That's what we're looking at. So I'm like, okay, bet. We had conditions to tell us that we are trending, right? Solid EMA color. Okay. Respecting EMA, bounced off right here. It kind of didn't even touch it right here. We touched right here. It seems like maybe we might get a bounce. We're on a 3. It's a possible triple bottom. You know what I'm saying? We also know the market moves on head and shoulders. Look everything I just did is adding up to why I just went in right here. Have a possible head and shoulders right here. Okay, we're creating those higher lows on the hour as well, as you can see right here. Matched all our conditions. We enter the market. And what's our take profit? Now, if there's nothing in the way, I said to go for Omega, right? But we can still test out the theory and, you know, for shits and giggles, see, does it hit up here? Notice how it pivots. See, me, I personally, I would have liked to take my money before it did all that anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy with where I took. Maybe I could have took right here. You know what I'm saying? So that's when you start to ask yourself, okay, why? Like, what conditions? And look at same thing. Trending. We're still in a trending market right now. We still have a solid EMA color. We're still respecting this. We're still creating these higher lows. Maybe in trending market conditions, we actually skipped over this. Entries. What are our entries? On a retest of a higher low. Maybe that's what we should do in trending markets. Because right here was a retest of a higher low. Right here was also a retest of a higher low. Now we missed the trade, whatever. I was just skipping through it, whatever. But let's see if, based on our theory, it still matches up with our trading plan. Let's see. Do we have anything? Should we have entered in on this? Let's see. 15 minutes not giving us anything too clear. But like, did we get one of our head and shoulders, triple bottoms, triple tops, or a liquidity grab? Did we get anything like that? Let's go on to 5 minutes. See. Nothing too nice. Like nothing that would have jumped out at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, should I get mad now and be like, oh fuck, I missed the trade, and then be like, the plan doesn't work? No, because even though it didn't happen right here, what I'm seeing, if I go on the line chart again, I'm seeing we did have some lows over here that it seemed to make an ugly ass head and shoulders on this area right here. So maybe I could have took this right here, this engulfing right here, as an entry when I seen that, because that does at least go with the theory that it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why you have to like make sure you're only going in on your patterns, like, yeah, you could be like, hey, I think the market's gonna go up right here, and I could just buy. You can do that, but what you're doing is like you're teaching yourself bad habits to just jump in on the market and chase the market. You increase your probability of being right if you're able to make sure you wait for something that looks or resembles something to your scientific theory as to why I should be entering the market. This would have been the first indication that, okay, this is possibly a head and shoulders now, so I can enter the market now. There was no other reason for me to enter this market. Maybe I could have went down to the 1 minute chart, but I don't use the 1 minute chart. Now that's deeper things, because like, once again, I'm trying to show you guys how to form your trading plan. But it's just like, I've done too much testing on the I can't even go back there anyway. But I've done too much testing on the 1 minute, and it's unreliable. And how do I know it's unreliable? Because I've done the testing. I've sat here and I've calculated, okay, how many times am I winning or losing using certain time frames. You can do that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, entry time frame. You can have theories for that too. 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart, 15-minute chart. I think that's probably all I would use. Maybe we could look for, we could even have a time frame for like structure time frame. And what I mean by structure is just like, that's where you're gonna look for your support and resistances and stuff like that. I'm gonna put a question mark on it. But what I'm gonna do with that is like, because remember over here we're looking at, okay, the hour is trending based on our conditions, and we're looking at the higher lows based on the hour. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in a trending market. We said in a trending market we want to enter on a retest of a higher low, right? But how do we know what time frame to look at those higher lows on now? You know what I'm saying? You have to keep You have to have the numbers and the variables for this. If you don't, it's just like basically you're trading randomly. This is what I mean by what I'm saying right now. You need to know what time frames you're gonna look at your structure points for. So hold on a higher low, right? Because I'm thinking my structure time frame might be the hour. That's where I want to draw my support resistances. That's where I want to draw the higher lows. Because let's say I decided to just do it any time frame. Any time frame is my structure time frame, and I'm gonna draw my structure over here on the 5 minute. Let's rewind time real quick. So this is my structure time frame. I drew. So I'm thinking, oh, this is maybe a triple bottom right here. You know what I'm saying? Because like this is literally why I tell you guys not to use the 1 minute chart and like these lower time frames. This is literally why. Because what happens is like you want the best entry possible so you get the most money. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about accuracy. I want to get the best entry as possible too. You feel me? But there's a reason I don't use the 1 minute chart. You know what I'm saying? Because it's unreliable. This is not a place where you want to look for a structure. And right now I'm on the 5 minute chart. You know what I'm saying? But even the 5 minute, I don't want to use that to draw my support and resistances, my structure points, to draw my higher lows. Because there's no guarantee that it's going to hold on these lower time frames. You know what I'm saying? Because like the lower down time frame you go, the less weight these structure points have. You know what I'm saying? So think about it as like, okay. Okay. We have the hour time frame is like a steel beam in a skyscraper, right? And then the 5 minute chart is like the nails built in, like beat into the fucking steel beams or screws or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of the structure, and like it's helping holding up the structure type shit, but it doesn't mean shit compared to the actual steel beam. Because if that integrity is broken, the whole building's gone. No matter how strong the fucking nails is, nigga. I don't care if that shit's made out of fucking kryptonite, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is still gonna break. So I try to tell like the beginner traders, they want to stay on the lower time frames because they believe that, oh, like I'm not gonna risk that much money, blah blah blah. Like I'm gonna get the best entry possible and the fattest reward, right? But it's just like, okay, now let's go back to our plan, right? We want to enter on the 1 minute. Let's see, even say no structure points, structure time frame, the hour, right? But instead, we said that we're gonna break that rule, and maybe I want my structure point to be the 5 minute. So I'm gonna draw a structure point right here. So you draw a structure point right here. You're like, oh shit, maybe it's a triple bottom. Maybe that's what it's doing. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2. Maybe this is the third hit on it, right? That is what we said. You know, the market's gonna move on, right? Triple bottom. So maybe we think we have a triple bottom right here. Now, a lot of people, a lot of traders who decide they want to go in on these lower time frames, what they're doing is they're chasing the market because they're chasing money. They want fast money, so they're like, oh, I'm gonna go in on the 1 minute chart. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's all linked. You have to understand how all these things are linked and how all of them are like representing how you are viewing the market at this very fucking moment. You know what I'm saying? Because you're literally playing mind games with yourself right now. You know what I'm saying? But you also have to understand, like, it's not you versus the market, it's you versus you. So you want money now. You are impatient, so you're not going to wait for the hour time frame like the plan is saying. The plan said, okay, we're going to draw structure points on the hour, but we drew structure right here on the 5 minute. That's against our rules. But you chasing money, you like, oh shit, you know, I got bills I gotta pay. You know what I'm saying? I gotta pay this mortgage, or I got a car payment, whatever you got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas, this is when it turns into gambling now, because once we created these rules to give us more probability of being right. We're not always gonna be right. You know what I'm saying? But if you get to the point where like you start chasing the market and you start breaking those rules that we created to give you probability of being right over time, saying, but you being impatient right now, you're like, nah, I need money now. You started breaking all the rules, so now you're gonna act different. Because basically, so I explained this in a video that I'm supposed to be editing that right now, but whatever, I'm gonna edit that right after this. So like, basically your thoughts and your vibration are all linked. Now that's like the spiritual form of saying it. What you can say in psychology is your physiology, the way you look and project, the way you act, is a product of your psychology. So what that means is, like, okay, like a lot of people, they play with their hair whenever they're nervous. So they play with their hair whenever they're nervous because whenever they're thinking nervous thoughts, that psychology creates this physiology of you playing with your hair. It creates a certain action. So the frequency, the thoughts, is creating a certain vibration, action. So the moment you say I need money now, you start adding thoughts on the frequency of impatience. So now that you're on the thought frequency of impatience, now you stop following the plan. You start breaking rules, because instead of waiting, you can't wait anymore because you're on the frequency of impatience. So then you start to break rules. You say, okay, I'm going to draw a structure point on a 5 minute. Then you say, based on your theory, you're supposed to wait for a triple bottom, triple top to form. It hasn't formed yet. A lot of sometimes people be sending screenshots and like the shit ain't even formed yet. Niggas be like, oh, triple bottom. Nigga, where did it make an engulfing or something to tell you that buyers came in now? You know what I'm saying? Chasing the market again. Still on that frequency of impatience. So they like, okay, bet, nah, this gonna be the best entry possible. I need money now. So they're like, okay, bet. You should also have a plan on like how big my stop loss needs to be. Let's say I want my stop loss to be about 200. Let's say we want it to be 200. Ooh, let's look at this. And then like, where do I want my take profit to be? You know what I'm saying? Where do I want my take profit to be? Okay, let's say it was the same place up here, right? Okay. So you want to enter right here. You're chasing the market. You're on the thought frequency of impatience. So you're not following the rules anymore. We're not supposed to draw. This all started because we drew a structure point on the wrong time frame based on our plan, right? So we draw one on the 5 minute because once again we're on the thought frequency of being impatient. And like, this is why it's so crucial to be able to meditate and become a watcher of your thoughts. Read The Power of Now if you haven't. You have to be able to do that, because if you don't, what happens is like you become unconscious at this very moment, because once again you're on the start frequency of impatience. But if you're able to watch your thoughts and you're able to understand, okay, what am I thinking right now? That don't seem rational. I know that I'm supposed to do this based on my plan. You can stop yourself. But some people, they get too wrapped up in the emotions, and this is what happens. Oh, hold on, bro. This will piss people off. This will piss people off. Do you see what just happened? Like, this happens to traders all the fucking time. That was not even planned. Look at this. It barely stopped you out. Then does exactly what you said it was gonna do. I can't, like, bro, I'm telling you, I've had like the most, that's the most rage inducing thing to me. And like, it's like, you were right, but you were wrong about when. And all that when is just the patience that you have to have added into the plan. Because if you don't have that added into the plan, what happens is now, like me, like, it's like I can get pissed off just thinking about it. I'll see this, I'm like, bro, I should have made so much fucking money. Like, that's when you got the gamblers that hit you with the, oh man, if I just played this one number, I almost had it. Like, nigga, it's either you had it or you didn't. You know what I'm saying? And like, then you got to ask yourself, why didn't I have it? The when is the patience, and that's why we created this plan. That's why we do this. That's why we continue to test. It's not always gonna be right, but your probability of having this be right based on your current conditions, like maybe you want your stop loss to be 200 pips. I think maybe 30 might be a good one. So if we did do 30, you know, we would have been safe. You know what I'm saying? So then you could even ask yourself, oh, maybe I should adjust that in the plan, but don't just do it based on that one thing. You would then look at other setups and ask yourself, does this match up? You know what I'm saying? You don't just see one instance and automatically think that's God. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have confluences. You know what I'm saying? You have to have multiple reasons. Like, you don't listen to the first person that cries wolf to you. If they're the boy that cry wolf, you can't listen to that one person. But then if you got 1,000 people crying wolf to you, you're like, okay, the possibility of that wolf being real is very possible now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what confluences is. All those confluences is just matching up, you know, things in the story. You got to be able to match it up. That's why we have conditions. You have to have conditions for everything as far as like your entries and your take profit. But that goes deeper because like now your entries has to be okay based on structure on on a certain time frame maybe. You know what I'm saying? But then you also have entry conditions for what time frame you gonna enter on. You know what I'm saying? Then you need to have entry conditions as to what pattern you're going to actually enter on. You hear what I'm saying? Like this shit gets deeper and deeper. Like you have to have all the details to the plan. You gotta really think of yourself as like a general almost. Like it's like you're really creating the battle plan and you want to stick to that. You know what I'm saying? But like insane, getting barely stopped out because of lack of patience. And I say it all the time. I say it all the time to the point I know my subconscious believes this. I am always right about when. No, sorry. I am always right. And like I think that's even hyperbole. I shouldn't even say that. But I should say I'm usually right. I'm just wrong about when. And I keep saying that. I know my subconscious believes it. And that when is that patience. And that's why everybody's always like, yo, trading 70% psychology. Being a successful trader is 30% strategy and 70% psychology. This 30 is gonna give you the keys. It's gonna give you everything you need. Cause nigga, you had it right here. Use this impatient. All you gotta do is wait. But 70% is like you having to actually be able to catch yourself in the moment where you're looking at this market and you're like, I need that money now. Then you force a trade without confirmation. Usually, like you should have conditions for that too. What are my conditions? I need to see confirmation. What are my confirmations? That would be those beginning theories that you had up here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna even add an engulfing here. I'm gonna add an engulfing right there. My entry theories, entry time frames, structure time frame. You should have something for that too. Trending market conditions. Let's see. Oh, actually, hold on. Trending market conditions. You want to do that, and then you could have. So what you would want to do if you decided you were going to trade different conditions, because obviously there's trending markets, which is going to be markets that look like this. We have conditions as to what our trending markets look like. That's why I'm telling you this is like, it's insane. This is why all this is so crucial, because you should be able to just look at it and be able to have a forecast. You're looking at weather. Think of this as like you're a weatherman now. You're a weather woman. You know what I'm saying? You are trying to figure out what the forecast is, but first you need to know the conditions. What does the sky look like? You know what I'm saying? What's the humidity? What's the temperature? You know what I'm saying? Like you need to know these things. What does my EMA look like? What do the candles look like? You should be able to just look at it. And you should be like, okay, this is a trending market. We'll look at the 15 right here. This is clearly a trending market, right? Is this a trending market? If our trending market is defined as a solid EMA color, let's go back to it. Respecting EMA. Right here we have, hit here, bounced a little bit. Couldn't even touch here, couldn't even touch right here. Okay, we're respecting EMA. We can't even touch it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We're definitely above it. We're respecting it. And we're creating these higher lows.
Hello.
Yo, what's good, Jati?
Yeah, you know when you typed in liquidity grabs, is it you referring to those blips?
No. Liquidity grabs is more like, I'm gonna get into that, but let me finish this. But like basically you have a clear bottom, the market spikes down and then recovers and just shoots up. That's more like a liquidity grab. Like, cause they know everybody's stop losses are right here, so they try to grab them first before moving. Now, I'm still trying to create, like, this is what I mean by creating a trading plan as to when they're looking for these liquidity grabs, because they don't do it all the time on GJ. So like, to look for that all the time would be, I feel like, foolish, because I've tried back testing and I didn't see a high frequency of this happening. So that's just something. But like, that's basically what a liquidity grab would be. Like, you have a clear top maybe, and then they know everybody's stop losses in this area, so then they hit everything and then they go down. Because what happens is a lot of traders, they'll revenge trade. They get stopped out, especially if it's barely stopped out, and then they'll jump back in, and then that creates a whole rush flow that that has it rush in the opposite direction. So like that's just basically like manipulation, I would say, with the banks and stuff like that. But it doesn't happen too much on this pair. Like it happens, but in certain instances, like during news days, it happens a lot. That's what I meant by liquidity grabs. As I was saying with the trending markets now. So like we have trending markets here. We have that, right? Now, is this a trending market? You need to be able to ask yourself that, especially if like maybe my plan is I only want to trade trending markets, right? Solid EMA. Do we have a solid EMA color? Nah, it keeps flip-flopping right now. This shit looking wishy-washy right now. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not fucking with it. So maybe we could draw like a little box right here. Box right here. You could have any trading plan. I'm not gonna trade consolidation. That's something I've like considered adding because it's just like I lose the most money in consolidation. I think the most traders lose the most money in consolidation. You see how this dipped down right here? So many people sold this, bro. There's so many people that sold all the way down here, and then it's recovered all the way back up here. And you know what happened? All these traders that got stopped out right down here, they decided, oh shit, you know, it is going up. So then they got in all the way up here, and then it went all the way down here. Consolidation is where traders lose the most money. So that's why I try to avoid it as much as possible. But you could just add maybe a condition where instead of not trading consolidation, you want to have the most patience in consolidation. So that's where you want to be on a time frame where you want to look for those higher lows like we had earlier. You know what I'm saying? So like just by looking at the market, but just by looking at the EMA, I already know my market conditions. Consolidated market, trending market. Okay, trending market. Let's see what we got. Let's just watch it right now and see what we got going on. Right now, are we respecting the EMA? It looks wishy-washy right now. I'm gonna say consolidated market. Let's see. It looks wishy-washy. Yup. Look at that. Let's see if it respects right here. Yep, we got a consolidated market right here. Big consolidated market. You see, and all I'm doing is looking at price. All I'm doing is looking at the EMA on my charts because I have conditions that tell me, okay, what market am I in? I've just simplified it to one indicator that tells me, okay, based on where it is on the charts, based on what color it is, I already know what's going on. So we in consolidation right now. Okay, bet. So I said I want to try to find. I have no idea what's gonna happen. We're gonna figure out right now. I said on a structured time frame, I want it to be the hour. So far, it's been working. Okay, bet. So I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna draw my structure right here. I'm gonna keep it blue. I like to keep my structure points blue. We're gonna draw it on like the bottom right here. And all I wanted to do is, okay, we got one hit right here, one hit right here. 1, 2. Let me see if it pivots up here. Let's see if it moves. Shit. Maybe this is an entry, right? Do I just jump in right now? No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? But it's a possibility. Maybe it might go up. So what we would do now is, okay, what's my entry time frame? I said 5 minute, 15, maybe 1 minute. I don't think I can go in 1 minute right now. So let's try maybe the 5 minute. So we're gonna go down. We're gonna try the 5 minute. Now, what do I have to look for? Entry theories: head and shoulders, a triple bottom, triple top, a liquidity grab, or an engulfing. Okay, bet. Right now, I see what seems to be an ugly head and shoulders right here. If we can get maybe an engulfing on this side, I think I'm willing to take the trade. So let's see what happens. That looks good to me. That looks good to me. I'm gonna take it. Put the 20 pips. What are we gonna aim for? Well, right now, the safest thing to do, because remember, what was our take profit plan? And we want to take profit on Omega if there's nothing in the way, right? Is there something in the way? Yes. We have resistance here, resistance here. We have resistances all throughout this right now. So we're not taking profit on the Omega. We're not. Obviously, I would love to. Of course, I want $1 million right now. Of course, I do. But it's like I said, it's like I'm usually right, just wrong about when. So I'm not gonna marry the trade, even though this is a nice 23 too. Ooh, I'm supposed to aim for up here. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm just gonna aim for the nearest resistance, since there's something in the way. If there's nothing in the way, we aim for the Omega. I'm supposed to aim for all the way up here. And traders will do that. They'll do like, oh yes, like I'm gonna make. That's a lot of money. That's almost like 28x anything you put in. You put in $100, that's $2,800, just like that. Imagine putting in $100 and making $3,000. That's insane, right? And then people will marry that idea. They'll think about all the things they're gonna buy. They'll think like they'll marry the idea and they'll aim for all the way up there. Could be right, but what's the most probable? That's why we created this plan. That's why we created this plan, right? Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in right here. Let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Another thing you also want to do is you also want to see the time. You also want to look at this and be like, okay, bet it's 4 a.m. So maybe around London session, you want to know what session you want to be trading too. Let's add that to it too. Entry session London question mark, because it's not solid yet. We don't have enough information. Like I said about you want to have the +1. I think we actually have +2 because the other setup was a +2 as well, right? You want to see how many hits you get on a certain session. Maybe NY session, Asian session. You want to see where you get the most hits. You should actually, what you should do is like you keep this note, and every single time you trade, either if it's a win or a loss, you add it to the plan. Like maybe you want to have a column for wins and losses, right? Wins. You want to have a column for losses as well. Now you can make this look a little prettier. I'm just kind of, you know, freestyling this right now. You have your wins right here, losses right here, right? And then you write down the conditions. You can maybe make a table. That's why I like this. You can just do so much with it. 1 hour high or low, triple bottom, possible triple bottom, and then you put in maybe you entered in on a 5-minute head and shoulders. Outcome, what happened? We had a win, right? You do that again. Okay, what was the other condition we just had? Oh, look, we have one right here, right? We have hour high or low, possible triple bottom. 1, 2, 3. Yep, possible triple bottom. 5-minute head and shoulders. Yeah, that's what we're trying to look at. All right, so let's see what happens. Let's see if we're right. Just look at that. Look. Another hit. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have to add another one. I could just put a +2 right here. Eventually, you might look at this shit one day and this shit gonna say +1050 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, that's my shit right there. You know what I'm saying? When you can visually see it, that's when you gonna believe it for real, bruh. And then like, even if you lose now, what happens is you're like, oh shit, it don't matter because I'm +2,000 on this setup. You know what I'm saying? So I know it works. It just didn't work this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have all this shit in front of you, bro. You have to know your conditions, have to know the outcome. You have to have like conditions for what market conditions you're gonna be in. You have to be able to know how to forecast it. Okay, what time frame should I be looking at the EMA on? I should have maybe something like that. It seems like right now I should be looking at that bitch on the 1 hour because it's hitting. That's where I want to look at structure. See what I'm saying? So I only want to draw my structure points on the hour time frame. So that's why we have structure time frame is the hour. Right now we got, I think that's +3 right now. +3 on that. You feel me? That's a hit. You know what I'm saying? That's a hit. You might test this out and then maybe you go on the 15-minute and you feel me? It don't get that many hits. Like maybe eventually you get to 300 hits on the hour. You only get maybe 150 on the 15-minute. You know what I'm saying? So which one is more reliable? Clearly the hour chart. So you want to stick to that. Like once you have all the numbers in front of you, bro, like it's so easy to like expand on it. It's so easy to just be like, oh, I already know it works. Let me put this together. You know what I'm saying? You create this theory, bro, you gonna get better and better at it. Like you have to understand that you gonna lose sometimes. But you like Dr. Jordan Peterson was talking about this in an interview with Joe Rogan. He was talking about compounding. He was talking about how basically if you're failing, right, you're gonna continue to fail, right? Like it's a compounding effect. You know what I'm saying? That you fail, you're gonna start to fail faster. But the more you fail, the closer you get to success. And the moment you start succeeding, the same thing happens, the more you'll start to succeed. You know what I'm saying? So it's so crazy how what stops a lot of us is fear. You know, and I remember last live we were talking about that. I was asking everybody What problem do you think you have? And one of them was hesitation. Having confidence in your plan. So in order to have confidence in your plan, you need to actually believe in it. You're gonna hesitate because you don't truly believe it. You lost the last time, so you think it's over because you're paying too much attention to what you lost and not what you gained. If you simply change your perspective to looking at practice gratitude. It's so insane how something as small as just practicing being grateful for things will change your perspective, because you stop looking at things the negative way, you start looking at the positive way. You've been failing, you think, right? But you actually been learning too. You gained knowledge, but you're not paying attention to that. So all you see is the reality of you being a failure. You think you're a fail. You ain't fail, bro. You're just learning. It's like, bro, like your first day of school, you ain't know everything. You was a failure because you didn't know. You got a question wrong, nigga. You just didn't learn it yet. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? So like, you have to pay attention to what you did gain. So that's why I say add these pluses to it. You don't got to sit there and add a bunch of negatives and shit in there, because what's gonna happen is, if a nigga comes on here, comes to his trading plan, and this nigga said he sees negative 1,000, he gonna be like, oh man, I'm a fucking failure. Stop paying attention to that shit, bro. Pay attention to the positives, bro. What did you learn? You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna keep refining it over and over and over again, because all you're gonna do is, like, the more you fail, the more you learn, until you start to succeed, until that succession becomes your automatic state of living, and all you do now is succeed, bro. I was talking about forming habits in the last live too. Like, it's Forex is deeper than just looking at charts. That's all I have to say, like, really, like, when it comes down to that. But it's just like, once you have a plan, once you know what to look for, what conditions you need to be in, this becomes so cake. And when you see plus 300 next to one of your setups, for example, it doesn't matter if you lose one time, because you know your record crazy. You know your record crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already failed, so you should actually look at that as a good thing, because people like Floyd Mayweather, they have the most pressure on them every single fight. To be able to control your emotions to that level, stay calm, and do what you have to do, knowing that everything is on the line. Your entire reputation is on the line right now. You can't lose, because you've never lost. So you know the moment you do lose, you lose that record of being undefeated, right? It's an attachment. It really is. But once you lose one time, you already lost. Now it doesn't matter. Now all you gotta do is just fight and get better. Ask yourself, why did I lose? You're just gonna become a better fighter over time, bro. That's it. Look at the positives, bro. Look at what you're gaining from everything. You know what I'm saying? Well, the moment you fail, you have nothing to lose anymore, bro. You have nothing to lose. Continue to fail until you start to succeed. And the more you succeed, you're just gonna continue to succeed more and more. It's going to compound, bro. I'm telling you. But that's the end of the rant. I think I went over a lot. I know I'm gonna look back at this video and I'm gonna be like, oh man, like, I should have said this, I should have said, like, that happens every conversation, bro. It is what it is. So I'm probably gonna drop this video or whatever. I hope that helped Bonnie with, like, understanding, like, how to basically form a plan and, like, how to back test, because I kind of did both. Like, I showed you, like, how to, like, kind of figure out what to look for, and then on top of that, I back tested right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Using what I decided I'm gonna look for. You know what I'm saying? So all you have to do is, like, you create your little theories. You go on the charts and you start adding it up, seeing what works, and then from there you'll be able to basically form a plan, right? And you feel me? And, like, your confidence is only going to go up the more you dedicate time and energy into refining this plan. Like, I'm telling you, it becomes so fun. You start to feel like you're a scientist, bro, like in the lab, bro. Like it shit feels so fun because like you're really doing that, bro. Like you're really sitting there and forming mathematical probability equations. That's what you're doing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's insane. And like people are rich off their mathematical formulas that they created. Geniuses, absolute geniuses. And like it's just deeper than just that though. You know what I'm saying? Like it also comes down to your mental, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, like in that one setup that I was showing earlier, like you can get stopped out and you were right the whole time. Once you have a good plan, once you can look back at this notes, like I said, if you guys want to do this, it's on notion.so. You guys can look it up right here. You guys got to sign in with Google, and then you can just like type this up, and like you can do so much with this, bro. I'm telling you, you just play around with it. Because look, I can even add, we'll do this, show you guys something else you could do. Copy image. Maybe here you want to put in your wins. Instead of even writing all that, what you could do is you could get a screenshot, my boy. Get a screenshot of what the hour looks like, and then what your entry time frame looks like. So maybe the 5 minute right here, right? We saw this on the hour. Potential triple top forming, or triple bottom forming right here. Went down to the 5 minute, waited to see it engulfing, waited to see it head and shoulders. What happened? Made some bread. That's it, made some bread. You could even put in the pip amount. So we had 64 pips right here. So we would say win plus 64 pips. You could even do that. You could even label it like this: 1 hour trending market setup. And then maybe under it you can write your conditions as to what conditions you would be looking for. Now you got the whole plate right here. Copy that. Now you got these market conditions right here. You see a solid EMA color on the hour, okay. Respecting the EMA, it's bouncing off it, okay. Higher lows forming, okay. What are you entering on? Entering on the higher low. Take profit right here. You can duplicate that. You can drag this down. So we got entries right here. Conditions right here. On a retest of a higher low, and then you put on the 1 hour. So that way we know what time frame to look for that. And then entry would also be on a head and shoulders, triple bottom, or a engulfing, we'll say, on the 5 minute. Take profit on Omega if there's nothing in the way, and if there's something in the way, then we'll look for nearest resistance. If something is in the way. Look at that. I just gave you a whole trading plan. I just gave you an entire trading plan based on the hour chart. You have your conditions. You know what to look for on the hour. If you see those things, you're going to look for a retest on a higher low on the hour time frame. We saw we were getting a retest around here. So we went down to the 5 minute chart. Look for a head and shoulders triple bottom or an engulfing. We saw a head and shoulders form right here. So we went in right there. And then where we take profit, Omega, if there's nothing in the way, there was something in the way. So we went for the nearest resistance. And we caught 64 pips. You know what I'm saying? So then all you would do is that with that, you're gonna see this, and like maybe we'll make this a certain color. Let's make it blue. Fuck it, we'll make it blue. We can make it a header, and then we're gonna add plus. I believe this is what we've been using this entire time. So +3 on this. That's what we have on that setup right now. Eventually, one day you might come down here. You gonna see this setup. That shit might say +3 mil. You gonna lose one time, you gonna lose courage? Nigga, fuck that, nigga. I'm up 3 mil, nigga. What is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So like, this is gonna increase your confidence. This is gonna do everything you need to do as far as like the creating the 30% that you need for trading, which is the plan. Once you have the plan, now you have to be able to watch your emotions. And then once you're able to do that, you win. You beat the game. I'm telling you. You feel me? I wouldn't even put anything for losses. What I would do is I would even just put learning opportunities. That's what I would put. Don't put losses. Because we don't look at things a negative way. We look at what did we gain from this. That's all we're gonna look for. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody have any questions? I've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes.
You ever like use like supply and demand instead of like support and resistance?
Not really. Just because like I just feel like that adds another variable for me. Because I drew a support right here because I saw, okay, we had, buyers came in here, possibly buyers going to come in here. Somebody else looked at this and was like, oh, no, like, we had a huge, like, supply zone where we just shot up right here, so that's why I'm going to draw it right here. But it's like, we both just drew the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm just like, bro, I'm not worried about supply and demand because if I just draw support and resistance, I'm still going to get the same outcome, basically. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, it's just another word of the same thing, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So not really. Like, I just draw support and resistance, and like it'll do the same thing for me.
Nah, facts.
Was that did I explain everything that you were like for back testing and everything?
Oh yeah. That definitely helped out because I'm go on Notion and do the exact same thing you was doing, trying to formulate a plan and
Let's go.
get everything down and whatnot. But yeah, that definitely helped out a lot for sure.
All right, bro. For sure.
Hey, could we save this live stream? By chance? Or
I mean, I'll have it in the Discord. I'll probably put it on YouTube, actually, to be honest.
yeah, cause the way you broke the plan down, the way you went about it it just flowed out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm high as fuck. Yeah. Well, I just make sure I don't smoke to the point where I'm fried. I literally like take it like a herb type shit, and like it just really be having my.
How are you so productive lying?
It's an association. Like a lot of people, they create a bad neural pathway with their weed. So like it's basically like they'll smoke weed and then they start watching a dumbass movie. Like no offense, but like Friday is like a dumbass movie. Like it's funny, but it's like it's unproductive. You know what I'm saying? Or like they just go and eat like a fat ass and eat just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like me, every time I smoke, I make it apparent that I have to create something. Like I have to be making music, I have to be working out, I have to be filming a video, you know what I'm saying? I have to be speaking or writing something down, reading a book, doing something productive. You know what I'm saying? So like anytime I smoke now, I become more productive. Like I've literally created, and I think it's to the point where like it's probably a placebo effect. Cause like I'm literally smoking I'm literally taking a pinch of weed, bro, putting it in my little pipe and I'm smoking it, and that's it. I literally took the smallest hit before I came on here, bro, and I'm telling you, bro, like I just understand psychology, so like I know how like to like reprogram certain things or create connections in certain like pathways in your brain. So like it's just like I've created a habit where anytime I smoke weed, I'm going to be productive. So like it doesn't matter what I do now. If I smoke weed and I've been laying in bed all day, I'm gonna find some way to be productive now. Just because my brain has already linked the two things.